April 10th in the year of the runny eyes, scratchy throat, drip, 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 spring in the gorge. Oh my God. I need to have a Claritin Friday.
Joe,
Uh-oh.
I got the inhaler, I got the Flonase,
Oh man.
Inhaler.
and I take a daily pill.
Yeah.
I remember the day when we just say, here, my grandma would go, here, have a shot of this whiskey, you 5-year old. It'll fix you right up. Some
Yep.
whiskey and some honey.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks for turning me into an alcoholic, Grandma. Appreciate you. So, one of the things that I've been doing as I've gone through and reviewed all these webinars we've done is I've looked at the different topics, and I've done a handful of them on land development. And, I've said this before, and here I go again. After having been in this business since 1987, almost 40 years, I'm not a full time broker anymore, but I've done a ton of brokerage and development and consulting and teaching and authoring and just the whole kind of gamut of things that I've done. And I've been an owner, an investor, and all those things. When I look back over my shoulder and then look forward down the so-called road, I remain convinced that if people can learn to add value to the land, that is probably the highest ROI activity that you can do as a real estate investor. And one of the reasons it is because not everybody can do it. And one of the reasons is because it's pretty damn risky. And one of the reasons is risk means sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen. And I was talking to Christine yesterday, and she shared a short story about a development in Tri-Cities that I know something about because at one point I drove all the way there and talked to the guy about it. So I know who this is. He will remain nameless. It doesn't matter who he is. But she kind of gave me an update yesterday. And I want her to just take just like less than 3 minutes and just kind of explain what this thing is and what happened and what the current state is. And I'll give you guys a little bit of background. This is a very large land development project, okay, bigger than any of us would ever do. And what the guy was doing is he was planning a small city, if you will, a planned community, but retail, office, housing. He wanted to bring in a concert venue. And I think it was like, let Christine say, it's like over 100 acres. It's a big deal. And the way that the land entitlements are going to be set up is this was supposed to happen on either a 50 or 100-year land lease. Okay. Now, I haven't really done a piece on land leases. I've done some land lease deals, and those are not uncommon in certain commercial settings, and there's reasons to do them and also reasons to not do them. But Christine gave me a little update yesterday, so I'm going to let her fill in the blanks since she's a home girl. Go ahead, Christine.
Well, and I don't, it's all public knowledge, but the project was called Osprey Point. And in December, the commissioners of the Port of Pasco decided that they were no longer going to allow the contractor to proceed with the project because, according to them, he wasn't meeting his deadlines. Well, a little bit of the backstory is that the city of Pasco, which was what he had been waiting on, was with the city to grant him his permits so he could start construction. And it kept getting delayed and delayed. Now, this started in 2019. So we're talking 6 years, 6 years that he started the project. And he went to the Port of Pasco and got the letter of intent all signed around with him. And the property is actually owned by the Corps of Engineers, and he got all their permission to build on this property. Or, well, it's right on the river. So the Corps of Engineers had to be involved in some way. I don't know exactly how. Port of Pasco actually owns the property. So anyway, with that all being said, in their December meeting, they denied letting him proceed. Well, what had ended up happening is the city official that we found out later had been delaying the permit process. He had left as the planner at the city and he ran for the commissioner of Port of Pasco. So he transferred from the city over to the Port of Pasco and became one of the commissioners. And as soon as he left, James had his permits within 6 weeks to build. It was ready to go. So at the meeting in December, they all the commissioners looked at the new commissioner and said, what happened? How did he get these permits? And he said, I don't know. We're going to have to check into it. And that's when the port pulled this BS of he wasn't meeting his deadlines on the development project, and they withdrew the letter of intent. This developer has been working on this since 2019. He has spent all of his own money to the tune of $11 million and was ready to go with everything and ready to break ground. And they were doing a farmer's market. They were doing a big event center. They were doing the live work where they had offices with penthouses. They had penthouses on the river. I mean, it was a pretty awesome development that he had all scheduled to do. And the port came in and just kiboshed it. So, of course, there's a lot of lawsuits going on right now. But yeah, I don't know how they could all of a sudden withdraw, except for the premise of he wasn't meeting their deadlines. But that was because of this port commissioner.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah.
I bet that's not really the reason based on the information that you gave me. I'm sure there's a red herring in there somewhere. So the point is, big risk. The guy who was looking at making millions of dollars a month in passive income off of land leasing, it was a big deal. And I walked out and went, damn, that's like a once in 20,000 lifetime opportunity. And she told me yesterday, she's like, yeah, it's not happening. I was like, what? So, okay, I want to just keep moving here, but I want to just kind of throw that out. That's a real life story in the great state of Washington that, even when you think it's done, sometimes it's not done when it comes to this land development stuff. So just footnote, word of caution.